glad to be here, and so thank you once again, Latanya, for this opportunity and being able to share with you guys just a little bit of information. I do want to make sure that, because we're all in here entrepreneurs and we have businesses and things that we're trying to accomplish, and I want to make sure that I do speak to those things as well and giving us some encouragement and some insight in those particular areas. One thing I have noticed is that obviously we all have different challenges, but I do know we all want to be successful in our businesses, right?
That's right.
And with that, it has challenges as well. So we can probably name a whole lot of different things that we're dealing with in our business right now that are lending to frustrations and things of that sort. And I've learned through what I'm going to share with you in this philosophy on how to overcome some of that stuff and not focus so much on the negatives and on the minors and try to see what it is that you can do to push yourself even further. The other thing that I've realized is that as an entrepreneur, and I'm married now 6 years, me and my wife, and we've been together 8 years now. And one of the things that was different between our relationship now and when we first started is when we first started together, you know, dating and all of that, I was employee minded.
Okay.
So like I grew up around people that they worked 30, 35 years, got a check, pension, that sort of thing. And so when she was saying that she wanted to be with a man that was in entrepreneurship, I'm like, no. I'm trying to do my 30 years. I'm about to sit when I get about 50, 60 and just relax the rest of my life like my granddad did.
Mm-hmm.
And so as time would go on, I began to change that thinking. And it really caused me to 100% want to get away from work. And my wife was like, all right, hold on now, let's pace this a little bit. Like, I want you to be an entrepreneur, but let's get into it a little gradually. So I'm the person that's like, I'll spend $1,000 and we only got $1,100 to get something done. I'm that person.
Okay.
She comes with the financial background though, and she's like, wait, hold on. We need to have a little bit more than just $100 left in order to make the rest of this happen. And so sometimes it causes friction even with us. I got this dream, I got this goal, here's some things I want to deal with, and I feel like I have limitations, or I'm not making the money I want to make. I'm not getting the support from different people that I want to get. And so again, we're going to kind of look at these things and see how it is that we can overcome some of these things.
Okay.
Now, I want to share a story with you, and I'm going to take you all the way back to my childhood. I like to start with this story because from this experience and these experiences is really where this philosophy came from. So growing up with my mother in particular, like when we were younger, we weren't exactly the most fortunate people. I mean, we, for lack of better words, were poor. You know, I mean, I can go home, you know, any given day, turn the lights on and the lights may not come on. Like flip the switch and the lights may not come on. Like it was common for me to pick up the phone and not hear a dial tone because the phone was always disconnected. I would open the refrigerator and it'd be bare. Maybe a jug of water and a peanut butter or something like that. We had rodents in the house, we had roaches in the house. There's a lot of different struggles. My mother was on public assistance, all of the things that pointed to being poor. But every year around Christmas time, I had a glimmer of hope. I'm like, one thing is for sure, we don't eat good the rest of the year. I know we're gonna eat good on Christmas. Because grandma and granddad, they're gonna make a nice little spread, we're gonna go over their house and eat. The other thing that was guaranteed was I was gonna get a couple of little toys. And I had a few brothers and sisters and we all looked forward to that. But then last and finally, which was probably the most exciting thing for me, was getting new clothes. So growing up poor, we didn't have really a good functioning washing machine, so my clothes wasn't always clean. Didn't always get the newest clothes. I had the shoes that people laughed at. Again, didn't have all of these things going for me, but the new clothes on Christmas, I could take that to the bank. And that gave me so much excitement after the Christmas break to want to go to school and show off these new clothes to people. And I remember January 1996, I had it all planned out. I was gonna go to school, had these new clothes, show it to everybody. And here's what I used to do. When I was in school, the pencil sharpener was always in the front of the class, right? So I'm like, let me sit at my desk and break about 2 or 3 of these pencils so that I can go to the front of the class, and I'm gonna walk real slow so everybody can see my clothes. And if it's a girl in the class, I'm about to walk past, I might brush her a little bit, whatever. And I will make sure I do that so that people can see my clothes. So this was my game plan. But on this particular Monday when I woke up excited to go to school and show off my new clothes, I walk out of the room, and when I come out of my bedroom, I noticed directly to my right where the living room was, there were a whole bunch of police officers in there. Like 4, 5, 6 police officers in there. And I'm asking myself, at about 6 in the morning, why are all these police here? Like, did somebody break in our house? If they did break in our house, they're in for a rude awakening, because we ain't got nothing anyway, but they, like, what happened? Did somebody get hurt? And as I'm looking at the police officers and kind of coming out the room, there's this one officer that notices me, and he runs towards me, and he's like, I need you to get back in the room. You cannot be out here. You cannot see this. And I'm like, okay. But I couldn't help but notice on the pillow, or on the couch rather, there was this pillow. And this pillow had a bunch of blood on it. I noticed that. I later found out a few hours later that that pillow, my mother, she used that pillow. She held it against her chest. She took a gun and held the gun against the pillow. Pulled the trigger to take her own life. She used the pillow to shield the noise so it won't wake the kids up. She was successful because I didn't hear anything. I didn't know that she took her own life. Would have never even imagined that my mother would do anything like that. I'm like, why? And as I would get older and I would think about this, I would sometimes get frustrated. I would get depressed. I would get angry. So I'm like, you left me and my brothers and sisters by ourselves. Why were we by ourselves? Because this added more insult to injury because of the fact that about 4 to 5 years before that, I lost my father. So now essentially we're like orphans. And if it wasn't for my grandparents, we would have been spread off of different foster systems and whatever the case is. But I was fortunate to be able to be raised by my grandparents. So now here's why I share this experience with you and this story with you, because after losing my mother, I immediately became a negative statistic. Like, they immediately said, like, oh, you lose both of your parents, here's what's going to happen to you. It's guaranteed that you're probably going to go to jail at some point. Not likely you'll finish high school or ever even think about going to college. Entrepreneurship, not going to happen. You'll probably be dead by a certain point. You probably won't ever amount to anything in certain areas. And so as time would go on, I started hearing more and more negativity, and I even became victim to some of these things. I ended up making some bad decisions. But instead of staying in that cycle of reciprocal downfall and just becoming a victim of my circumstances, I decided that I'm going to not allow these things to make me bitter, but let me find out ways that I can be better. And so all of my negative experiences now have become a mission for me. My mission simply is to inspire people. My mission is to inform. My mission is to instruct and to impact, which is there on your paper. That is what the I4 philosophy is. And the thing that I share with people, and I'm going to share with you all in particular, is that, yes, we have our issues in our businesses. Yes, we have our issues in our personal lives. But how are you going to take those circumstances and turn them into a mission? So everything that I do in business revolves around this mission. And it's taken the pain that I've had. So when I speak from that place. When I'm talking, when I'm ministering, when I'm preaching, I speak and preach from that place. When I'm serving people, when I'm looking out for people and trying to do what I can to help take people from where they are to where they want to be, I do it from that place of, I remember growing up without a father. I remember growing up without my mother. I remember all of the negative things that they said about me. And so I love encouraging people who are in situations where they are frustrated, where they are tired, where they don't see hope, where sometimes they feel like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be successful. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to brag or boast, but everything they said I wouldn't be, I have become that and some. Like, they would never thought that I would be an author. I wrote multiple books. They would never imagine that. I'm thinking about times like I'm getting on airplanes and taking road trips and different things, and I'm like, I'm in another state speaking. Yeah. At one point I was doing television, had a radio show. Being on the news, featured on the news for doing something good and not something negative. Like, I wasn't on the news because I robbed somebody like they thought I would, or because I got caught with drugs or something like that, or worse yet, I was dead. So I was making good news. I'm a father now. I'm a husband. I'm a pastor. All of the things that I'm doing now, again, I put that stuff up there. I'm a coach. I'm helping people with their businesses and their lives and things of that sort. That stuff wasn't in the plan that they had for me. And so what are you doing with your life, your circumstances, your issues? How are you taking that and helping it to serve your mission? So the first thing I would say, if you're going to take notes as an entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you have a mission. You got to have a mission for what it is that you do. Have a mission for your business. Have a mission for your service. Have a mission that you want to accomplish, how it is that you want to impact and bless and benefit people. That's where it's going to all start at. I've learned this, that people don't connect necessarily to products and services. They connect to other people. So people connect to people. what makes Steve Jobs, like what made him so unique and so special? Like why do so many people have iPhones? Not because Apple was the most technical instruments or the most technical devices. It wasn't that it was the most expensive or the most elaborate things. I mean, like when you looked at the first Mac computer and even the makeup of an iPhone, it's pretty simple in comparison to some of the other things. But then you look at Steve Jobs, what made him so successful and people wanted to buy into what he had is that he made it personal. He looked at the computer landscape in his day and was like, I'm frustrated with what I see. And he would communicate that to people. He would say, I would notice when I go into houses of people who look like us, we don't have computers. Only these type of people have computers, and only these people are doing this. And so he would avail himself to people in such a way that he was transparent, and people start buying into that. They're like, I like his story. I like what he stands behind. Why did I share my story with you? Because it takes me, usually when we are speaking and selling stuff, we're up here and the customer is down here. The goal is to try to get as close to them as possible. So I'm like, I'm just a regular person. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing so unique about me that makes me any better than anybody else. What I'm doing, anybody I feel can do it. And so people connect to people. Your product is good. Your service is good. I'm pretty sure it is a wonderful thing. And I've interfaced with some of you guys, and I know what it is that you offer, and I know it's great. But what is going to make the difference is the people. I came in here a couple of weeks ago, met LaTanya, and it was the people aspect of her that made me want to connect. Then how people-oriented you guys were. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a nice group of people right here. And I didn't get a sense that people right here like, oh, hey, I got this product, and you really need this, and this is going to take your life to the next level. We are building relationships.
That's right.
And after we build that relationship, if I got something that can help you, you got something that can help me, then let's make that happen. But let's be friends first. Let's be a team first. And we're making connections even outside of this setting. And that's what it's all about. So the first thing is to inspire. That's the first thing you want to do, inspire. What is it that you have? What is it that you're doing that is able to push people from where they are to where you want them to be? That's the ability to inspire. Inspiration is simply the ability to have an influence. Like I want you to respond a certain way to something I'm doing or something that I'm saying. And unfortunately, sometimes we sell ourselves short in this regard. We think maybe based on the competition that we see, we think maybe because we're starting off new in some areas, we think maybe because our business isn't as large as other people, we sometimes belittle who we are and don't embrace the influence that we do have. I like what Scott Adams said. He is the author of the Charlie Brown comics, or the Peanuts comics, Charlie Brown. And he says that you do not have to be a person of influence in order to be influential. And really what Scott Adams is trying to let people know is that society will say that you gotta have $1 million to be influential. You need to be a best-selling author to be influential. You need to have this connection and these political affiliations and grow up in this community and all of these different things in order to be influential. And Scott Adams argues that you don't have to be any of that. Just be yourself. People are attracted to people. And it's something that you do, how you wear your hair, how you sit in a chair. I'm talking simple stuff. How you walk in a room, how you talk to people. These are all things that are able to pull people to you, inspiring people to make the connections and to ultimately make the impact that you want to make. So inspiring people. Here's another note, and you can write this down as well. Inspired people inspire people. In other words, if you are inspired, it's easier for you to inspire. It's a sad entrepreneur. It's a sad business person who's not inspired by their own product or service. Like you're not inspired by your own business. How do you expect me to benefit from it? As a speaker in particular, I am like a chef. As a preacher, I'm like a chef. I'm tasting my food before I serve it. And I'm eating this stuff, I'm like, ooh, this is good. That I-4 philosophy, man, that's like real good in my spirit right now. Like, I really like this. And then when I start sharing with people, I'm like, because I like it, I'm pretty sure people will be able to feel like, okay, I don't know, even if it's nasty to you, like even if like what I'm saying to you doesn't really even connect with you like that, you're still gonna say, man, he did it with such like enthusiasm. He did it with such passion, like at least he believed what he said. And sometimes, watch this, how many of you have ever bought something not because you necessarily needed it, but because the person that was selling it to you, they were so amped up?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let me tell you this, the first time I bought an iPad, I walked into Best Buy to buy an extension for a CD drive. Like the laptop I had at the time did not have a CD drive. I walk into Best Buy, I'm like, excuse me, I want to get a extension for my computer so I can actually be able to put CDs in there. And the guy was like, okay, fine. So he walks away. This must be like a technique or something that they use. He walks away, and I'm like wandering around the store and I'm looking at stuff, and I came across the iPads, like when they first came out. And it was like $800 at the time or something like that. So I'm looking at them. CD drive was about $39. iPad, $800.
Okay.
Look at the iPad, and I swear dude probably had to be like lurked behind the shelf or something watching me. Because as soon as I got to the iPads, he came around and like, hey, let me tell you about the iPad. And he started telling me all of this stuff about the iPad. He's like, what do you do? I'm like, well, I'm a minister. And he's like, oh man, you can put your sermons on here? Are you in school right now? I'm like, yeah, I'm in school. He's like, you can put your books on here, and do you have any children? Well, not yet, but when you get children, you can put games on here, and you and your wife, you can do different things. And I mean, he sold that thing to me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, let me have this. Then he was like, you need a case for it too. Like, what if you drop this thing? You spent $800 on it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. He's like, here's a good case you can get. Spend like another $50 on the case. Guess what I did not do? Buy the CD extension.
What you needed.
I went in there for that. Walked out with an iPad. I'm like, I don't need nothing else. I got the iPad now. And sometimes you buy things because of that. Your potential clients and prospects and things of that sort, when you come up with a certain level of enthusiasm, with a certain level of inspiration, that guy had to be inspired by that product. You're like, I use the iPad. That's why I tell people all the time that are in business or anything that you're doing, how is what you're doing benefiting you? And I would love to hear that story. I would love to hear how your service benefits other people. Like, put a face, put a name to what you do. Because again, people connect to people. It's good to say I'm in financial services. It's good to say I'm in marketing. Yes, there are a lot of people in that. But what's going to set you apart? What's going to make you different? It's a lot of authors, a lot of speakers, a lot of people in your field, in your area. But the personal touch is what's going to separate you. All right, let's take it further. The next one is inform. Inform. You have knowledge, you have skills, you have experiences, you have resources, abilities, all of these things that help give you the ability to educate people. The second rule of thumb as an entrepreneur, after being inspired about what you do, you really need to have a grasp on what it is that you do. Like, you need to know your product inside and out. One of the frustrations I have, and this is no knock against anyone who may be in this particular type of business, because this business does work, this type of business does work, but like the network marketing people, it's a great business model. I don't knock it. If that's what you do, that's what you do. It's great. You can make a lot of money from it. What becomes frustrating is when people come to me, they have the inspiration down pat. Man, I'm in this business right now. You can make a whole lot of money. Man, my upline, he's doing this, and you can do trips and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, yes, tell me more, tell me more. I'm like, tell me how this works. How can I get into it? And they be like, just come to this meeting on Saturday. I'd be like, I don't have time to go to a meeting on Saturday. Like, I need to know right now. You want to know why they invited me to the meeting? Because they don't know the information as much themselves. And they need someone else to explain it for them. And that person is doing a real good job. And I've been to these meetings, and I heard the guy on the stage talk, and I'm sitting next to the guy that invited me like, why do I need to be on your team?
Right.
I want to go get on that guy's team.
Right.
I need you to be the guy that's on the stage. You know what I'm saying? And so 9 times out of 10, I never connect with those people because they're not able to give me enough, share enough with me about how this can benefit me. So I need you to become experts at what you do so that you can properly educate your client, your prospective clients, and even the ones that you're serving now. Like, one thing I do, and I stay in my wheelhouse, like Warren Buffett says, not the smartest person in the world. Warren Buffett is worth over $75 billion. And he says, I'm not the smartest person in the world. And he says, I'm actually only smart in spots. Like, I got like a small little wheelhouse. But I stay in this little area right here. I stay around these spots. The issue with some of us is like, we're smart over here, we want to be good over here, and good over here. Warren Buffett said, find one thing and max it out. And this will get you the success that you want. So I speak, and I do everything that supports speaking. People are like, man, you should be in real estate. I probably could sell real estate. Not interested though. You know, DeAndre, can you sell Primerica for me? I may can get into that. It's gonna allow me to speak more, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But again, everything has to go around this philosophy. This is my mission. Everything that you do in your business, it needs to connect to that mission. I want to inspire people, I want to inform, I want to instruct, I want to impact. If it does not allow me to accomplish this mission, I'll leave it alone. Not that it's bad, It's just that it's not going to allow me to accomplish the mission that I want to accomplish. And I do what I do, how I do it, and I don't have to be everything to everyone. I just need to be one thing to one person. And that one person can do a whole lot of things for me, which I'll get into that in a minute. So information is good. And so write this down as well. Informed people inform people. In other words, if you are informed, if you are educated, you're able to educate, you're able to inform. As entrepreneurs in particular, what is one thing that we always do? We're always giving. We're always serving. We're always putting things out. We're always selling, all these different things. We're always sharing information with people. It's so necessary that you get information put back into you so that you don't deplete what you're giving out. So I'm a coach, speaker coach in particular. Guess what else I do? I get coached as a speaker. So I have a coach who coaches me. As a pastor, I have a pastor. Like I'm doing Bible study, I'm doing sermons every week. Guess what I need to do? I need to sit back down and get this food back for myself as well. Everything that I give out, I do my best to try to get right back. I'm sitting in this session today, I'm giving you a lot of information. Tonight at 7:30, I have a mastermind call with my coaching community. Not the ones that I coach, but the people that coach me. So I can keep staying sharp. That's why I'm reading books. That's why I'm at personal development sessions. That's why I'm in settings like this. That's why I go to conferences and seminars and different things, and I'm listening to podcasts. And even if I'm watching TV, I'm trying to watch something that I can learn. If I'm on social media, which some of us are, I'm not on social media just looking at stuff. I'm trying to learn. I have people that I'm specific, like I have certain people notified. You know, they be like, DeAndre, you got all of these friend requests, you get all of these messages. I'm not on here for that. Yeah, I'll get to that when I get to it. But right now I'm trying to focus on this because I need to be informed so that I can be able to inform people. Now, again, you have all this information, knowledge, and skills, and that is good. You need to be able to share it. Your product needs to be able to be shared in such a way that it appeals to people and they get an understanding of it and that they can see the value in it. But I've learned that information, if it's not properly applied, or if you don't tell me how to apply the information, it has a very high likelihood that it will become useless. That's where the instruct comes in. So information tells you how you can get from here to there, or it tells you rather that you can go from here to here. Information says this business can blow you up. Information tells you that you can do this and you can have this and you can be all of these things, but instruction tells you step by step how to do it. It's one thing for me to say you can be a good speaker. It's a whole other thing for me to show you how to be a good speaker. It's one thing to say, yeah, I can help you write a book. Here's some things that you can do to write a book, but there's a whole other thing for me to walk step by step with you on how to write that book. So yes, I have this information, I have this knowledge, I have all these experiences, but what makes me different is that I take the time to instruct people with it. So write this down. You need to become a master of your craft. You have to be a master of your craft. If you had a financial advisor, if you had an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer, these people that I just mentioned, you want them to be a master in that area. And you really want them only to be working on that area. How would you feel if your doctor, I don't even want to get into the type of doctors, but like my wife, she's delivering children. I mean, she got the doctor coming in to help deliver the baby, but my doctor is running late because they had like some other thing that they were doing. Like doctors, they just doctors. Like that's all they do. Like they're masters in that area. Like they have all this education, all of this skills, all of this knowledge, and they focus it on that one area so that they can become a master of it. And we hire masters. We pay experts more money. Like when you become an expert at something, you can charge more, right? Like people are more inclined to buy from you because you know what you're talking about. I could have done a lot of different type of coaching. I could do life coaching. I can do marriage coaching if I felt like it. I can do spiritual coaching even if I felt like it. There's a lot of different things that I can do. But I said, what's one thing in my life though that I've become an expert in? Speaking. Look, I got 10 years worth of experience in this area. I've spoken at hundreds of events, hundreds of messages, hundreds of sermons. I preach at my church twice a week, Bible study, things of that sort. I've done conferences, I've done workshops, I've been in seminars, done seminars. I've had a television show that had to come up with their own content and get in front of the camera and do it. Had my own radio show that was happening every single week. Did that. Then I turned my message into books. So I'm like, I can speak. and I can share speaking with people, and I ain't gonna run out of information with that. Like, I'm an expert in this area, and as a result, the people who are there in that program, those 20-something people, they are there because of my expertise. They're not there because I was doing this thing over here, and then I said I was gonna try this. No, I became an expert in one area, and they're able to benefit as a result of that expertise. So become an expert, become a master, so that you can properly teach people. Because if people are not taking your information and being transformed by it, two things are happening. Either you are not teaching them at all, or you're teaching them the wrong way. And the best teachers, the best instructors are experts in their area. Like, you know the ins and outs, you know the rebuttals, you know how to overcome the objections. Again, when I'm an expert, and I used to sell insurance back in the day, and I walked beside an expert. Like, there was one guy that was like, yeah, I want you to be on my team. And he like got like an old like car and all that type of stuff. He like, yeah, we gotta pay the rent for my apartment. But then I met this other guy named Matt. He driving a Cadillac, he lived in the subdivision and all of that. And I'm like, I'm gonna be on Matt's team. And I watched Matt as an expert in insurance. Like, he was like, you can do a whole lot of different insurances, but here's the one insurance I'm good at. I sell this to everybody. And I'm like, cool. So we got 15 products that we're offering, but you match this one product out? Okay, now I learned something. And I'm watching Matt close deals with people. And you see how I did that? You see how I did that? And I'm learning from that master. And watch this, I'm inspired by him, I'm informed by him, and I'm being instructed by him as well. So what happens when you put inspiration together with information, and you put information together with instruction? The impact is the end result. The I4 philosophy is like an equation. Inspiration plus information plus instruction equal impact. All right? So if you want to make an impact where you are, the money you want to make, the reach you want to have to accomplish these three things. I need to inspire. I need to inform, educate. I need to instruct, show. And then the impact is going to happen. Okay, last one. Impacted people impact people. Impacted people impact people. If, again, your product has impacted you, it gives you that much more leverage, inspiration, ability to inform, the ability to instruct, and you in turn can make an impact. Here's where it really, really gets good though. What does the I4 philosophy mean for entrepreneurs? It means, and it's translated into repeat business. That's what that means. It means loyal customers. It means residual income. Some of the things that we do, we get the product to people and then we leave it there and we don't finish the deal. We don't impact the people. But I'm telling you, impacted people impact people. So if you make an impact to your customer, to your client, you don't ever have to pay for another billboard. You don't ever have to do another television commercial. You don't ever got to do another radio advertisement. You impact the people that you have, they'll be your own billboard. They'll be your commercial. They're like, man, did you know I did this? I went here, and they give you 5 stars on Google. They'll rate you high on Facebook. They'll do statuses about you. They'll do all this type of stuff. I was on the webinar last night. I had a handful of people on this webinar that I did, and I didn't ask one person on there to give me a testimonial. But before I got off of there, they was tagging me in posts. Oh my God, I'm so glad I got on this webinar. It was my own little advertisement. Guess what happened after that? People inboxed me like, I missed the webinar. What happened? Did you got the recording? Absolutely, I do. And I'll send you the same invoice like everybody else got. And then you get to be a part of the next one, and you can be a part of this, because again, I impacted them. And so impacted people impact people because they're going to go and they're going to start telling about your product, your service. And then what you give them, they're going to be able to go back and impact other people. Why am I where I am today? Why are any of us where we are today? Because somebody impacted us. If it was a teacher, if it was an instructor, if it was a mentor, a friend, somebody impacted you and then encouraged you to keep going on so that you can do the same thing. This is a thing that has reciprocal or residual benefits. And you will see the thumbprint of this in so many people if you just adopt this. I just like to believe in 10 years or maybe even shorter, maybe even longer, that people are going to be like, man, that I4 philosophy, like they'll be adopting that like I have a dream or something. I don't know. And that's just my hope. And it's so practical. Like, listen, just do what you can to inspire people, inform people, instruct, and make an impact. So repeat after me. Say inspire,
Inspire,
inform, instruct, and impact.
impact.
That's my time. I'm DeAndre Riley. Thank you all so much.
Wow.
Right. How'd y'all like that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
He's good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because it's coming. Okay, this is just a little taste of what impacting people look like. Of the 4 eyes, that's what we're gonna call it, the 4 eyes, okay, connected with Spiritprenuer. We're going to impact the world. And that was good. I didn't even see that coming.
Oh.
I mean, that was phenomenal. Okay, great. Okay.
Thank you.
Before we finish up today, y'all know how I am with, building teams. That was a excellent representation of actually becoming the best version of you. That is an excellent representation of understand how your spirit can connect with another person's spirit. Just by being yourself. You don't have to be somebody else. You can just be you. You are already okay. You are already great. So when you reach down inside of you and you become that great or that best version of yourself, the other person can see it. That was a perfect example. Okay, I mean, I wanted to hear more. How many of you wanted to hear more?
Yeah.
He could have talked the whole hour. Okay, it was beautiful. It was like, no wonder I connected with him. I saw the greatness in him right away. And I said, okay, that is a different voice. Okay, I don't sound like a man. Okay. Okay, so I mean, that was perfect. We need what, maybe 10 more of us?
Right.
Okay, then we'll have our 12. Okay, you know what I mean by
Yeah.
we need our 12. But guys, come back, 'cause him and I, we getting ready to, can y'all see it? We getting ready to do some great things. But before I continue, because I'm excited right now, he's got me pumped up. I want him to bring out the plate, okay? I knew I wasn't wrong. I know how to pick them, okay? But I just want us to do something else, continuing on, piggybacking off of what he's doing, okay? Because we need to impact people, and we need to learn how to just be ourselves to do that. And he is absolutely right. You have a lot of different companies, and I have nothing against multi-level marketing either. They taught me a lot. They taught me what I need to do to impact with people. Okay, they showed me what was missing. Okay, a lot of things that you said, I know. Okay, when that thing is missing, when you don't know your product and you know the product better than you know you, guess what? Your clients, the people that you're prospecting, they're gonna see that too. They're not gonna be bothered with you, because guess what? You don't even know about yourself. You want them to come to a meeting so that you can learn what? About the thing that they're trying to sell you. So why would I want to be tied to you when you don't even know? Okay, so find out who you are. Find out what your passion is. And then go after that thing, because then guess what? You don't need to take nobody to a meeting, because you will be confident in yourself and what you do. You will become that thing that you are. I'm a trainer. I'm a teacher. I am an instructor. I am a professor. And I know it. I've always been that way. But it took for me to be in situations that I wasn't good at, okay, to realize that this thing is not working for me. I need to be over here because I like to talk to people. I like to teach people. I like to share with people what I've learned. I study. There are a lot of people you're gonna connect with. They don't know anything. You know more than they do. And that is a problem, isn't it? That's a big problem, especially when you're in business, especially when you're an entrepreneur. You have to become that thing that you want the world to see. If you are not becoming that thing, that something is missing. And because that thing is missing, a lot of times you need to understand how to figure it out. Like DeAndre said, a lot of times it's because you don't study, or you lack training, or whatever it is. Don't be too proud to say, hey, I need help. Help me. Because that's true leadership, when you can ask for help. Remember, I taught you, titles don't mean anything if you do not know how to lead your people. It doesn't mean a thing. That's just a boss. There's a difference between a boss and a leader. And if you don't understand the difference, then guess what? Ask. Pick up some books. Read. Show yourself approved so that the people that's trying to learn from you can have an opportunity to show themselves approved. But I can guarantee you this, you can't teach me if you don't know who you are. I'm not going to hear you. I don't care how hard you try. I don't care if you try to push titles in front of me, trips, money. That doesn't work with me because I'm a people person. Okay, I'm not a trick-it person. I don't care about these accolades. I care so much about what you know and what you're getting from me that I'm going to make sure I keep studying, because the more that I study, the more that I can come share with you. If I don't have nothing in me, then you're not going to learn from me. You're not going to get anything from me. And that is very important to me, that you learn at the best possible level and become a leader. I don't want you to stay tied to me forever. I don't want you with me 10, 15, 20 years. I want to develop you as a leader. And in order for me to do that, I must be a leader. A lot of people get it confused. I'm a boss, so I must be a leader. That is not true. Bosses like to push people. They don't pull people. I don't know if you know the difference, but that's a big difference. Okay? Bosses sit back and tell you what to do. Guess what leaders do? They show you what to do. Okay, bosses don't sit and pick up notebooks. They all about what the company law says. Guess what leaders do? We break the laws because it doesn't fit our team. It doesn't fit our people. We need to show you a better way. Come on, guys, let's go this way. Guess what bosses do? They tell you to go. But leaders say, let's go. I can keep going with this on and on and on, but the simple fact that to me, I need to get to a place where you are even better than me. Once I train you to get better than me, then I have accomplished my lifetime goals, and that's pushing out millions of leaders. And this is he's great, ain't he? That's a perfect example of a true leader. So y'all just take a look at him, because y'all gonna see him, myself, and 10 other ones on stage doing what? Pushing our leaders. Now, with that being said, we're gonna act like leaders in here since we all in, business. I'm gonna show you another activity that shows true leadership. Okay, and that's looking out for each other. So I just want you to grab two or three pieces of the puzzle. 2 or 3 pieces. That's right.
Got a 3-year-old.
Actually 3. You can grab 3 or 4 pieces. It doesn't matter. Show you another example of leadership that a lot of people seem to struggle with in the business world. Since we didn't have 6 people, but all the puzzle pieces have to be given to you guys. There we go. Now, what I need for you to do is put the puzzle together. Now, I will not give you no instructions because you guys are a team. And with this being said, the company is going to crumble if you don't get the puzzle together. I just want you to hang out with me in my office. These 3 gentlemen, I would like for you guys, remember I'm being a boss, I want you guys to get this thing together, okay? You and we're gonna have coffee. I wanna talk to you about some things, okay? And I want you guys to put the puzzle together, okay? No questions asked, just get it together. We need this merger, okay? Because if we don't, the company is going to fail. Understood? Okay, guys, get going. But you and we're gonna talk about some things that I think the company needs, right? Okay, so. That's right. You're doing a good job. Okay, so, Henrietta, I want to know, you've been with this company, 15, 20 years? You've been doing a phenomenal job working with the guys. I really, really appreciate appreciate
my
it.
boss.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you doing that. Now, in your opinion, what do you think we can do to, save the company?
What if I did this?
Possibly, actually reach out to all of the employees and begin to find their best talents and, begin to develop those talents. And get their suggestions, to grow the company.
Okay.
Okay.
You've been in management with me so long. I know I did a good job when I picked you as a manager. So, I really, really want to hear your value on this thing, because we can't afford, we're going to lose millions. So, yes, how you doing?
Sorry
DeAndre?
to impose,
Uh-huh.
but do you have those pieces that we need to complete this merger?
I do.
I'm sorry, what do you need, DeAndre?
We need the pieces that you have to complete the merger.
Oh.
Since you all are talking, we just want to make sure that we don't interrupt you and that we don't have to pull her out the office.
So why do you need her pieces?
She's a part of our team.
She's a part of the team.
Yeah.
She's the manager over you guys though, so why do you need her pieces?
She's been showing us how to do it, so we just want to take what she's showing us and
She's the missing link that we need.
She's the missing
Can't do it without her.
link. You can't do it without her. That's wonderful. Henry, do you mind, helping them out? Is that okay with you?
I don't mind at all. I would
Okay.
like to-
Okay, go ahead,
help out.
please, show me what you do.
All right.
Yeah.
What's missing? What's the rest of the pieces?
Oh, here. The what?
I could teach that.
Okay.
I can preach that.
Sometimes you gotta outsource. To
Ah.
find the rest of the pieces.
It looks like we're gonna save the company. Give yourself a hand. Now, what just happened? Y'all all had a piece, you all had a job. Why did you need the manager?
Cause she's a part of the puzzle.
She was a part of the team, right? She's a part of the puzzle. She's a part of the piece. Like you said, what was your answer to that?
I don't remember now.
You need everybody.
You need everybody, okay, to save the company. Just because she's a manager and he's the minister and you are the accountant and you just the worker, it doesn't matter, do it. Still need the whole team. Because she was a part of the puzzle too. I just wanted to show you that. Do you understand that businesses don't get that? A lot of times the managers, they stick together, they sit in the office and they talk, they have coffee. Okay, what did I do? I pulled another manager in the office with me. Cause guess what? Out there, they feel they're not a part of the team. Because you are on a different level that you are supposed to be able to keep this company running, and multi-level marketing teams are the biggest because they set levels and they don't understand that it takes everybody to reach their goal. It's not, and a lot of times, bosses and managers will tell you, they use the word I. Again, leaders use the word we. And I like the way you guys said, we need her peace. What'll happen if we can impact the world like this? Get them to understand. Change the word from I to we. It doesn't matter if you're at the top. What about all the little people at the bottom? They're not doing their jobs. Guess what? The person at the top doesn't have a job. The person at the top wouldn't win trophies, plaques, trips, without all the little people at the bottom. So I think that we need to work on helping people understand, switch the word from I, cause there is no I in team. I wish I had a chalkboard in here, I'll write it out for you. Where is the I in the word team? It does not exist. How was that? Did y'all like that activity?
I did.
Let's give DeAndre another hand. That was great today. Does anybody have any questions? Y'all have anything to add? What kind of experiences do you run into when working on teams or in a team atmosphere? Or even, it doesn't even have to be just business. It can be in life in general. It can be with family members. I'm the oldest. I have an auntie that she runs the family, I'm gonna tell you. But she does realize that she needs us too, just as much as we need her. She is the patriarch of the family, and we know it. We love her, and she know we love her. She put her foot down, everybody. They listen.
Yeah, I used to, I came across this assessment. It's kind of like a spin-off from like DISC assessments, if y'all know what that is. Kind of helps you with identifying personality type and that sort of thing. But there's this one by this gentleman, his name is Chris Daniels, if y'all look him up online. He has this, Chris Daniels, he has this thing called 4 Animals Assessment, and it helps you to identify what your animal type is. So you got gorilla, turtle, flamingo, and chameleon. And so like, you have the gorilla who's like dominant, going after it, they're results driven, really don't too much care about structure like that, but they about to just go after it. You got the turtle, like real slow, meticulous, they need to see the systems and the plan and step-by-steps and check and get it proofread, and they take months to complete things, but when they do it, it's in excellence. You get the chameleon who's just kind of adaptive, like I'm just going with the flow, whatever you want to do, I'm there. What time you need to be there? Okay, I'll be there too, it doesn't matter. And then the flamingo, they're just social. You know, they are real bubbly, real hyper, real energetic a lot of times. Kind of like the life of the party in the sense, like that's the person that you like to have fun with, even work with that person, but maybe you don't always get your work done because you're working with them all the time. And you talk about frustrations, I just remember, like me and my wife, we've gotten so much better with our communication because I started to understand who I am in proximity to her. She's like a turtle by nature, you know, so she's like, no, DeAndre, I need to see all of the stuff. I'm like, no, it's right here. It's in my mind. Go ahead and go for it. And so, and then sometimes that's a challenge that I'm still overcoming even when it comes down to teaching, because I can understand something to such a degree and feel like everybody else should understand it just like I do. And sometimes if you're not careful and you don't understand how you are in relation to everyone else, you have unnecessary frustration. So I just kind of learned just to see what people like, how does this work for you? How does this benefit you? And try to do my best to adapt to them the best way I possibly can. Everybody's different.
That's right, and that is exactly the same thing that happened with me. Dr. Miles, I remember Dr. Miles, he passed away, you know, a few years back. My husband and I, we listened to a lot of his motivation, especially when it comes to marriage. I've been with my husband 23 years. Actually, I've been with him 27 and a half years, but married to him 23 years. It took a lot of getting used to, because him and I are opposites, and they say opposites attract. Okay, sometimes that is not the case. Everybody know that's not always the case. Okay, but with my husband and I, he, like you said, he has a different personality from what I have. I am the one that I see things, and now today he'll call me, you have the vision, okay, and then I make the vision work. This is an exact statement that he'll do. I have to make the vision work. You provide the vision. And Dr. Miles called the women visionaries. So it's beautiful that you said about your wife, because women usually are. We are the ones that have to see the big plan. Well, guys, one at a time, one task at a time. That is just the way men think. Okay, they are the ones who are going to make this thing work. So if this is the task, I need to do this now. They don't think about the grand plan like the women do. We have a vision, okay? And the men want to do it right now. We have this right now. But the women said, no, here's the whole plan, and I think we need to move these things around here and do this around here and make this thing work. And so you're
Yeah.
thinking about your relationship
Yeah.
with your wife, aren't you, Kathy? Just understand, the women are the visionaries.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the vision, and the men make it work. I
Mhm.
appreciate that.
That's good.
Mhm.
This was a good one
Yeah,
today.
this was.
Now, what we gonna
really-
do next time? Okay, we're gonna continue on next time with part 4 of foundations. Foundations is just like the foundations to the world. You have to have some kind of solid foundation to stand on in order to grow. Another thing I like is the iceberg. Do y'all know anything about the iceberg? The iceberg vision?
Mhm.
Okay, the
It's
iceberg.
more than this.
That's right. Most of the work is done when you can't see it. It's always done underneath the soil,
Yeah.
underneath the surface.
Mhm.
All of the building is happening. But once it grows above land,
Mhm.
then you start to see the peak. But you don't see all of the building underneath first. And that's where people fail. They fail to understand that concept. Okay, we're building right now. People can't see it, but they will.
Yeah,
They'll see it.
that's right.
Utilize it, just like he said, okay? When you hear stuff and you know it's impacting you, apply it. Just don't take it and keep it to yourself. Apply it and let it start to manifest in your life. And once you do that, guess what? It becomes contagious. You're gonna try to try it on everybody.
Right.
You're gonna, hey, you know, this is like the gentleman on the video. You wasn't here, but he was, okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to apply what you've learned, okay? And be yourself. Stop trying to be somebody else. Yourself is already good enough. Okay, it wasn't a mistake, and we all connect together. Okay? That's it. I can't wait to see y'all in 2 weeks. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thanks so much.